Okay, so it's time for the end game, or as I like to call it, all that shit at the end, all of it. And it's really exciting because, you know, the story is building to its climax and things are getting even weirder. And there's this dramatic slow build-up where you ride this elevator and everything's breaking and you have to fight Ito's defense systems, and the music kicks ass. It's really over-dramatic music. I don't know if you can hurt these fucking things, by the way. I've played this game dozens of times. I've never once been able to harm or defeat these things. I don't know if you can do it somehow, but if you just wait long enough, they go away, and you can fight the final boss, so it's not really important. Defeating these things, if it were possible, is also not tied to any of the endings, so, you know, you can just wait in the corner and use your reflector. It's not that big a deal. You gotta move sometimes, because the fight does get... I'm not sure you should call it a fight, but Ito's defenses do get progressively more complex as you go up on the elevator. Anyway, this is probably really exciting. It's the part most people would probably be most interested in seeing, is all this weird ending shit. Because, you know, it's where things ramp up to maximum crazy. But if you've played this game as much as I have, maybe this is the part you're dreading the most. It might just be me. But this is the part I was dreading recording the most, because Working Design's turbo-fucked the design, and it's less noticeable before now, but the endgame bosses have so much health that it's really hard not to notice how much they turbo-fuck the design. The bosses basically just become a huge slog, and it makes the most what's supposed to be the most exciting part of the game really irritating. Also, someone pointed it out earlier, but yes, even enemies that you can't steal coins from do have coins for no reason. As you can see here, Ito's defense system has 30 coins for no reason at all. No reason whatsoever. Other than because Treasure thought it was kinda funny, I guess. That's probably why. You may notice that Ito's defense system also has no spirit gauge. Makes sense to me. This boss also noticeably wasn't turbo-fucked by Working Designs. It would be very hard for Working Designs to mess up this boss battle. Like, they'd have to put an obscene amount of effort into fucking up this one. And I don't doubt that they could do it, alright? I believe they could. But I don't think that they would bother. There are a few areas where I have faith in Working Designs, but, you know, I think they could fuck up anything if they wanted to. I say all this shit as a fan of Working Designs, by the way, but me liking Working Designs doesn't mean what they did is okay. You know, those are entirely separate things. What they did isn't okay, and they made this game significantly more frustrating. But I personally like them because of their sheer audacity. Alright, it's final boss time.
You have outlived your usefulness, messenger.
Working Designs messed up that dialogue so bad that it feels kind of depressing to even bother trying to untangle that web of fuckery. But they got so much wrong. They even got the Silhouette and Mirage attributes wrong. The Mirage are the smart ones, the Silhouette are the stupid ones. I don't know if they just legitimately did not understand what they were translating at all, or if these are just really stupid typos that could have easily been fixed if an editor looked over the work first. I hope they just didn't understand. I hope they just did not understand the story, because that's something I can follow. You know, the story isn't that hard to follow for me, but I guess if you're a normal person, the story's a bit weird. So it might be understandable if they just didn't get what they were translating. You know, restarting humanity, bringing about a new humanity, all that stuff, that's fine. I've watched a lot of anime. But if they didn't get it, I understand. I wouldn't understand if this were just typos and they were just too lazy to fix it. Anyway, as for this final boss, it's basically a zoo of Silhouette and Mirage attribute attacks mixed together. And it looks really cool, and it's a really cool idea. I also like that she's using Megiddo's signature attacks against us, and what I assume are Har's signature attacks, but we never fought him separately, so I wouldn't know. It's a really cool idea for boss that she switches between the two and uses their attacks against you. It's really neat, and there's quite a variety in attacks as well, so if you were, say, playing the original version, where, you know, actually being aggressive is an option, then it might be cool to dodge around all these attacks. But we're not playing the original version, are we? We are playing the North American release translated by Working Designs. So this boss is incredibly slow, and you have to play it methodically, so that way you don't get your ass wrecked. It's just an insult not only to Treasure, but the entire brand that Working Designs was trying to go for here. Like, this was part of their Spaz sub-brand, which was supposed to be focused on Twitch-based games. And the original Silhouette Mirage is a really hectic, fun, Twitch-based video game. This is not. This monstrosity that Working Designs made, that vaguely resembles Silhouette Mirage, is not Twitch-based. Actually, let's read a post someone wrote on a forum about this fucked up translation, alright? Okay, here we go. This post is titled, "Can we finally get an apology for Silhouette Mirage?" It still bugs the hell out of me how Vic mangled this amazing Treasure game beyond the point of playability, forcing me to import the Japanese version to experience it as intended. I get that he wanted to make the game harder, and I admit it was too easy, but making weapons drain spirit was not the right way to do it. Gratoni, Envia, and Rosti, which were originally very fun and useful weapons, were rendered practically worthless due to their rapid spirit drain. I don't see the point of discouraging their use when the weapons were, for the most part, remarkably well balanced and versatile to begin with. Why not just let people play how they want? Furthermore, it greatly increased tedium by making it take far longer to kill bosses without actually making them harder, since your weapon will always be getting smaller and weaker. The right way to do it would have been to add a separate hard difficulty mode, where Shina takes more damage and continuing is disallowed, while not bothering to change any of the spirit drain crap. It doesn't matter too much anymore since I have the Japanese version, but I would appreciate if Vic could apologize for his wrongdoing after all these years. Now, while I think this post is incredibly intelligently written, and I agree with most of it, asking Victor Ireland to apologize for fucking up a game, that's just never going to happen. He doesn't even believe he fucked up the games. He believes he improves every game he translates. He believes this shitfest you're watching right here is an improvement over the original, fun, hectic, Twitch-based original Silhouette Mirage. Victor Ireland thinks this is a better game than the original. And it's just an inexcusable piece of garbage for the last few bosses. And just why? Just leave it the fuck alone. Oh, and to add icing on the disrespect cake that Victor Ireland baked for Treasure, if you read the interview at the back of the Silhouette Mirage manual, Victor Ireland is talking with the creator of this game, and he mentions Basically, Victor Ireland was for some reason under the impression that Silhouette and Mirage were related to gender, but the creator told him no, that's stupid. But it was too late at that point because they already translated Zohar as two separate genders, even though Zohar has a singular gender. How much fucking audacity do you have to talk with the creator about how you fucked up their game, and then include the interview in the manual without changing what you fucked up? A lot of people are fans of working designs because they think they did good work. You know, they didn't. They fucked up almost everything they touch, and it's abhorrent. The games barely resemble the original intention, at all. It's disgusting. I'm a fan of working designs because of the sheer fucking audacity of Victor Ireland as a human to transform someone else's work into garbage like this, like what you're seeing on screen. It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful that he took a perfectly playable, creative, fun treasure game and, through his own ignorance, turned it into this. That's just a special kind of human. A special kind of human.
It looks like you're dancing. You can't escape. Thanks for playing!
Okay, so it's time for the alternate bosses and endings, I guess. If you know, because we didn't have enough of those really long final boss fights yet. Let's see that. Anyway, if you manage to tie the fight with Zohar, you get a different boss after fighting Zohar. The different boss is equally tedious and boring, and it would have been fun in the original game, but it's not here because Working Designs is a monster. Victor Ireland is a monster. This is a bad translation. Yada yada.
find this entertaining?
I remember the very, very first time I played this game, and that giant butterfly monster came out, I was like, holy shit, this is the best thing. Shit just got fucking real up in here. But now I'm just so over it. You know, the music is so gorgeous, the voice acting is so gorgeous. They just fucked it so hard. They just fucked it so hard. I think I may hate Victor Ireland. And you know, I don't really hate people, but I think I may hate Victor Ireland. As much as I love him, at least. This is amazing. At least when other translation companies fuck shit up, it's because they misread. They misread the region, or they appropriately read the region and changed things in order to better fit the demographic there. You know, corporate shit. Normal corporate shit. Victor Ireland, he didn't change any of this stuff because he was worried about sales, or worried about what a corporation would say to him, or worried about how Americans would think. No, he changed this shit because he thought he was making improvements. You know, I just can't... My brain can't wrap around... Does he even know what game design is? Cool, that's over. Let's see how working designs fucked up the other in-game bosses for the alternate endings. Let's go. Come on, I'm ready. I'm already this deep. Let's suffer some more.
Let the festivities begin!
will not lose to a waif like you.
This boss is actually exclusive to the PS1 version of the game. Anyway, about the boss itself. Cool ideas ruined by working designs. Boring, methodical, blah blah blah, fucked everything up. You hurt her by destroying the arms she has made of Silhouette and Mirage enemies. A really cool idea, really toys with the concept of the game. Would be fun if we were playing the original version, or not. Deal with it. I'm so tired. How many more alternate endings are there? This chick's attacks are kinda boring, by the way, but they're enough for how short the boss is in the original game, which is much shorter than this garbage.
How could I have been such a fool?
festivities begin!
You're of no use to me now.
Alright, let's try to keep our spirits up for this one. This is the Megiddo fight again, and that one wasn't so bad. Megiddo has the same moveset as before, but he has a cute twist. I wouldn't call it cute. Let's say he has a twist this time around when he gets to half health. But anyway, this fight isn't so bad. It's pretty much identical to the previous one against him. He can still shoot himself to the moon by throwing roses at us. And basically, his attacks are just a giant tornado of nonsense made out of anime. So it's pretty fun. Would be more fun in the original version, but you know, whatever. What I'm saying is that it's less noticeable that Working Designs messed everything up here. It's less noticeable. Still noticeable though, just less. God, I fucking love and hate when he launches himself into the sky by throwing roses. It's just the stupidest shit. Oh, yes, please, keep walking into my shot. Oh, that was working really well for me. Can you do that again, please? That was working out really well. You know, as for the story, at least they managed to get most of it okay. At least they managed to get most of it right. The problem is that sometimes they fuck up, you know, they get words mixed around and mess up character motivations here and there, but for the most part, they did an okay job. You can still understand what the story is about in spite of the obvious issues in the translation. So you can say that about it at least. It sucks that I have to explain that there were points where they fucked up the translation, but at least you still mostly get what it's going for. Right after his horrifying transformation, there's a good opportunity to get a cheap shot in, like this. He still jumps off the platform like a fucking moron, though. That doesn't change, no matter which form he's in. It's great. Even though this version of Megiddo has weird arbitrary things like temporary invincibility, I actually find him much easier to fight than regular Megiddo, because reflecting his attacks back at him is much easier. He's much slower and much less unpredictable. It's an okay boss even in this version of the game because it doesn't take an obscene amount of time to actually defeat him. The set piece here is pretty great. You know, there's more to appreciate than there is to despise, unlike some of the other in-game bosses in this version. The intention was to withhold my scathing hatred for Victor Ireland until the final video. And I think I mostly did that. I let some of it through in the video before this one, but I think I mostly did a good job waiting until now to lose my shit. I mean, you know, the channel's called Playable Passion, not Playable Sedation. Alright, I'm angry about what he did to this game. And I should be. You should be angry too. Anger and passion are very closely related. You don't need to be angry to be passionate, but sometimes being passionate means being angry. And I think that's fine. I'm not an easy person to make angry.